Oh, hello there. Yes, well, isn't it a good news day? Yes. The impending, possible, maybe, you never know, it might, deal, which will finally, possibly, maybe, release the remaining Israeli captives. Because you may remember that a very long time ago, there was a bit of a kerfuffle on the Israeli-Gaza border, which resulted in a lot of Israeli deaths and then resulted in a lot of other deaths. Anyway, in case you're not aware, that's a situation that's still been ongoing and has kind of also been ongoing still in the West Bank and kind of also still been ongoing in Lebanon, kind of, well, maintained its basic belligerence into bits of Syria as well. But the thing about this, of course, is that Israel's avowed war aims, or Netanyahu's avowed war aims to get rid of Hamas appears, therefore, if the deal does go ahead, that's if the Israeli right will allow it to go ahead, maybe, to get rid of Hamas have just come to naught. Meanwhile, they're going to, I think, replace Israeli hostages to Palestinian detainees at the rate of hundreds to one. And right now in Israel, there are massive numbers of people demonstrating because they want the hostages released, and loads of other people complaining bitterly that all of those Palestinian hostages, who apparently, according to most of the Western media, haven't existed at all, going back to what? A absolute deserted ghost town, which is going to have the stench of rotting human flesh in it for decades to come. Now, who's won exactly? Who exactly has won here? Who has come out on top the bestest, eh? And the answer is nobody. It's just simply a mountain of dead people. And the thing I'm astounded about this, of course, is the way that our own particular media will, one way or another, trumpet this as a massive win for Israel. Well, I don't know if it is for your average Israeli citizen who, a mere decades ago didn't have to cower in bomb shelters, or indeed your average Gazan who decades ago didn't have to cower amongst the mutilated limbs of their own children. Hard to say, really, isn't it? Yes. But so much of this is reminding me of the 1979 inauguration of Reagan taking over from the very recently deceased funeral, etc., of Carter, when the Iranians deliberately didn't release the American hostages until after Reagan had become president, and one smells a similar thing happening here. But the problem the Israelis have, amongst the many problems that the Israeli has, amongst the enormously large number of problems the Israeli have, of course, is they now have to deal with Trump, who isn't the world's most predictable man. Now, they can easily have snubbed over and over again Joe Biden with impunity, but I don't know if they can do that with Trump. He will certainly take the kudos for any trade, for any deal that's signed. But where does that leave Netanyahu, be a man who's facing criminal charges as and when the war ends? Well, presumably the war will have to go on through one means or another. There has to be a war, otherwise you never know, it'd be dreadful. He might actually end up in a court, either in Israel or abroad. Odd that somebody who so entirely has right on his side is wanted both at home and abroad. We normally associate those kind of things with mass murderers. Oh, hang on. Yes. Anyway, we will see about this, but I'm not going to hold my breath. I think it is just so astounding that so much of this could have been prevented. Well, let's think now. Decades ago, years ago, months ago, weeks ago, days ago, whatever, choose your pick. But the British government could have taken a stand on this, the US government certainly could have taken a stand on this, and to a certain extent, various people in Israel must be asking themselves whether or not they could have taken a stand on it. Now, one of the real dangers for any regime is for soldiers to come home from a war which they've effectively lost. Think the Soviets in Afghanistan, think the Americans and Vietnam. It doesn't tend to bode well for the future. Whether or not that means an even more right-wing Israel than we have at the moment, which would be hard to believe, is neither here nor there. But we'll have to wait and see on exactly what very bad fallout there is from this, because this is certainly a win for absolutely nobody anywhere. Meanwhile, as ever, we'll have to spread the lime into the pits to make sure that if nothing else, it smells better. Do have a lovely, lovely midweek.